Good afternoon YouTube and welcome back to the channel. I am the Celtic cigar enthusiast, and today's video I'm going to show you some of these new little cigar accessories that I've been using recently. So part of the sort of mantra of this channel is to find quality but affordable things on cigars, accessories, hints and tips, things like that. I believe that these three little accessories that I've been using fall within that category. So I'm going to show you a little bit about them today. So the first one I have is the Cigar Cutter. So this is a multi-cigar cutter. As you can see here, it has the straight cut and the V cut on it. It's spring loaded, so you just push that down to release the spring. Nice sharp blade there. To make the cut, you just click down. And yeah, so that's the dual cutter. Now there are many of these things around the place. You see lots of dual cutters with the straight cut and the V cut. To give you an example, SD DuPont do one at round about 150 British pounds, and that gives you the same sort of style as this, two different cutters for 150 British pounds. What that one doesn't have though, that this one has, is a couple of additional features. So this here at the bottom is a punch cutter. So as well as having the two, you've also got the additional punch cut on there. And in addition to that as well, there's also this little draw enhancer tool. So if you have a plugged cigar, you need to improve the airflow on a cigar, you just stick that in, twist it around, free up some tobacco. Just a great little feature. So as I say, there's loads of the dual cutters about, but seldom do you see ones that give you all three of the major cuts in one device. So it's a really handy thing to have. When I'm out and about, I do always think, like, which cut should I use if I'm going to be leaving the house, which cutter will I pack? Generally, more often than not, I tend to pack my SD DuPont straight cutter that converts into a stand, which you may have seen in my previous videos. But sometimes I like to change it up, especially when it comes to punch cuts. I'm enjoying the punch cut a lot more these days, and I've not tried too many of the V cuts, to be honest with you. Generally straight cut is about 90% of the ones that I use, and then I do experiment with the occasional punch cut now and again. But just having that device here with all three cuts at once, plus a draw enhancing tool, it's just such a convenient time saver for me. So design wise, this one has a little Partagás logo on it, so the Cuban cigar brand, little Cuban street scene there. But they do 2 or 3 different designs on the particular website that I bought it from. So it's a little bit thicker than I was expecting before it arrived, but I can put up with that for the convenience of it. I just think it's a great little thing. So as I mentioned, the SD DuPont cutter is 150 British pounds. The price of this is under 20 British pounds. That is fantastic for what you get here for the triple cutter with that little draw enhancing tool. So under 20 British pounds and you have all three of the main cuts in one device. Now, will it last you as long as SD DuPont? Probably not. It's probably not as sharp as SD DuPont, but it's sharp enough to do the cuts without any issues. I've cut a few cigars with this already and not had any problems with it. So you'll definitely get at least a few months for the sake of under 20 pounds. It's just, that's fantastic value. I can't really fault this at all, apart from maybe it could be a slightly thinner, I suppose, but I just think that's a great device to have. So I got this from a website with sherry007.com. They do copy lighters and things like that, but there's a whole accessories page and they have various, cutters, ashtrays, things like that. So I'll put the link in the description to that one. But yeah, that's the first one there I'm using, some little multi-cigar cutter. So the next little budget accessory we have is this little keyring here. So nice little thing. So you can get this in a few different colours. This is the gold one, but there's also available in, I believe they do it in silver and in black and gold as well, but I quite like the shiny sort of gold copperness to this one. So what is it? Well, as you can see, it's a keyring, so you would attach your keys to there. Twist this bottom part here, and it's a punch cutter. So a punch cut keyring. I quite like that you can gauge how deep you want the cut to be. So it doesn't just sort of like open up to one size, you can sort of twist this to sort of make it a really deep punch cut if you want, or you can sort of make it shallower to whatever suits you. It is a really sharp cutter actually, you can actually feel how sharp the blades are on the end of that one. So you might think to yourself, well, you've seen these around, there's keyring punch cutters all over the place. Again, SD DuPont being the obvious one. Theirs is around about the 80 British pound mark just now for their keyring punch cutter, so what's so special about this one? Well, again, it's a multi-tool, and it's actually a 4-in-1 multi-tool. So punch cut is the first feature on it, but it also has this feature at the top here. So if you unscrew this, you have a little airflow tool for improving the airflow of the cigar. So if you've got a plug, you can sort of stick that in, twist it around, free up some tobacco. So that's the second feature of it, in addition to the punch cut. It also has this part to it, so let me unscrew this. You have a cigar nubber. So if you're smoking a cigar and you get to the final third, you're enjoying it, you don't want to stop, it can sometimes get quite hot in the hand, that final third, because that's the part that's burning and you're holding it at the same time. If it gets too hot for the handle, you just stick it on that and use that to hold it. So it's a little cigar holder for the final third of your cigars. Handy little feature. But the fourth feature of it is the part you've unscrewed. You might notice it's recessed. That's a cigar stand as well. So you can rest a cigar on that one. But yeah, nice little 4-in-1 feature on that. So you have your punch cut, cigar nubber, draw enhancing tool, and a little cigar rest should you need it. You just rest your cigar on that. So great little 4-in-1 cigar multi-tool, handy keyring format as well, so it's easy to put on your keys. The price of this one, it's from the Amazon UK website, and I paid £17 So great for what it does. As I say, it's nice and small and compact. When it's on your keys as well, I quite like that you can remove this part and still use this. So if you're with your friends, for example, and they ask you for a loan of a cutter, you don't have to hand over your entire keys. You can just sort of unscrew that, and it completely separates the main part of it. So it just leaves the keys on here, and then you give that around the place. So you can sort of use that just on its own as a standalone cutter. And you've got your nubber and little stand as well. Isn't that handy? So again, really inexpensive piece of equipment. There's a few of these around the place, I'm sure, like keyring cutters and things like that, but I've never seen one where you can detach it completely from your keys before. Even with the SD DuPont one, if you're using that and you have a lot of keys hanging off the end of it, it can be quite cumbersome to try and sort of position the keys, and you want to get a nice straight cut, you might have to sort of double the keys up in your hand and then hold it a certain way. But the fact that you can remove that from the actual keyring itself, I think that's a really good little feature. So yeah, so £17 for that. Cutter, nubber, draw enhancing tool, and little cigar stand in one. So I'll put the link to that on the description as well, and you get that from the Amazon website. Next up, guys, we have my favourite of the accessories that you see in front of you. It's this device here. So what is this, you might ask? Well, if you saw my previous video about Zippo lighters and cigars, you will have seen that I mentioned you can get butane inserts for Zippo lighters, which are perfect for using with cigars. Now, Zippo come as standard with a fluid-based lighter system, but that lighter fluid that Zippo use has quite a strong petroleum smell to it, and it can put a lot of people off using it for cigars because they feel that that could taint the cigar, having that smell in the flame and then going into your cigar if you're lighting it. So I mentioned you can buy butane inserts for Zippo. So this is one of my Zippo lighters, and inside that at the moment I have this butane insert from Zippo. So with this inside the Zippo, you flick the wheel and it gives you a soft blue butane flame which doesn't give off any odour. So it means that it makes Zippo lighters perfect for cigars when you use these little butane inserts. You get the convenience of using a butane flame which you can refill at your leisure, and you get to use the iconic Zippo lighters, which I absolutely love. So go check out my Zippo lighter, guys, my Zippo video. I have 2 or 3 different Zippo types, and I talk about different sort of accessories you can get for those, the little inserts and the designs and things. But that's the butane insert that I use at the moment. Now, the only thing I don't like about this current butane insert that I have is that when you let go of this little button here, it cuts off the butane and the flame doesn't stay lit. So if you want a flame, you have to keep your finger pressed down on it, which is a slight annoyance. So with a standard Zippo lighter, for example, with the one that uses the fluid, which people don't like, if I flick that switch, that's the Zippo lighter fluids burning. So it keeps a steady flame, you don't have to hold it down. You can sort of rest your cigar in one place and that'll just keep on burning away. So I miss that feature on the butane because the butane doesn't have that. So what I found online was this insert. So it's not from Zippo. Zippo don't make this. It's from a company, but they do fit the standard Zippo cases. So I'm going to put this inside this little lighter and show you what it is. Take out that standard insert, put in this little insert. Put that down. There we go. So that is the Zippo with this new little insert inside it. So when you flick the switch on this one, it's butane, but the flame stays lit by itself. You don't have to press anything down to keep it lit. So I'm now back to having the permanent butane flame, which is perfect. So that's exactly what I want a Zippo to do, to have a completely lit flame that won't go out when I stop pressing it. And then to extinguish it, just do the usual you would do with a Zippo and just put the cap over it. What sets this apart from the standard Zippo butane inserts though, is this little extra feature that it has. So when you flick this switch, you have your standard soft flame Zippo lighter, but if you press this button, it converts it to a hard blue flame, a jet flame. So that is amazing. I just love that I can switch between the two types of flames. So I've got the soft flame when I want to use it, and I don't have to pack a separate hard flame if it's bad weather, for example. So if I'm out and around and it's raining outside, it's really difficult to light with the soft flame because it can go out. But with that hard flame option, I can just sort of switch over to it. So if I'm having trouble lighting with that, I press the button, switch to the hard flame, and I've got the best of both worlds again. So I can switch between the two different types and light that any way I like. So I just think that is such a good feature to have on a Zippo lighter as well, because I love these lighters, I love these designs. So I've got 2 or 3 of these different ones, but you see the 2 ones that I have here. So rather than have to choose between a soft flame and a hard flame, I can now just put this little insert inside it and I've got the 2 flames to choose from. So butane as well, so it's not going to taint my cigar, it's not going to evaporate or expire, the fluid will just do that. If you use a standard fluid Zippo flame, they will evaporate even if you don't use it. But as I mentioned in my Zippo video, the butane gas doesn't evaporate, it just stays until you're ready to use it. So great feature for cigars. But I just think this has really opened up the amount of times that I now use my Zippo lighters. I have been favouring the jet lighters recently because it's now wintertime here in Scotland and the weather's not been great. But now that I have this with the dual feature, I'm just using this a lot more now, especially because I can now show off my Zippo lighters. So they're interchangeable, so I take that one out, swap them over. There we go, put that in there. So I can, you know, have the sort of fancier one if I want this rather than this style. But yeah, just it's so versatile. Yep, great little feature. So yeah, so that is the 3 cigar accessories that I have at the moment. Now this Zippo lighter, the insert, sorry, this is £12 on the Amazon website. So £12 British for that lighter. That is amazing. Just combine that with the Zippo lighter, you've got a beautiful looking little lighter with a dual flame. All you've paid is £12 plus whatever you paid for the case. But this just opens up choices for me. So these 2 things here in particular are in my pocket pretty much most of the time I leave the house. I've got my choice of cuts, I've got my choice of flame. Yeah, great little features. So yeah, so that's the 3 little accessories that I have today. So budget little features. You don't have to spend too much to get, you know, great little gadgets on cigars, which I love. So as I mentioned, these 3 things here. I'll put the links in the description. And yeah, so just a little basic video today, guys, showing you some of the accessories you can get. So let me know if you've got any nice little gadgets like that yourself. There's plenty of things out there. There's stuff that I've never even seen before. I'm sure people have recommended to me. So some of these ones are great, some of the suggestions that I've been getting. But if you do see anything yourself, give me a shout, guys, and let us know in the video. So we'll catch you next time then. Thank you very much for joining the channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe.